What is going on, everybody? My name is Barba223 and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be doing a spear and bow build guide. I hope you guys really enjoy this one. It's a build I've been running a lot lately and it's a lot of fun. It's a very good 1vx build and it gives a lot for you and your team. I hope you enjoy my dance, and as always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. And also, I am offering channel memberships now. So if you want to be a part of a Discord, if you want to be a part of someone that has emotes, someone that has special icons next to their name in chat, and also gets priority reply to comments, make sure you join. Anyways, guys, let's get right into it. So what we're going to do is start with the attributes. We're going to stop dancing. Attributes. So here's our attributes. We are using a spear and bow, so I want to emphasize the fact that dexterity is the primary stat for both of these. As you can see here, it says primary attribute for bow, rapier, spear, and musket. We're using a bow and spear. It works perfectly. So what you're going to want to do is, number one, you're going to want to get 50 constitution. This is the most important part because you want your consumables to be 20% stronger. It's a very important thing to have. And then dexterity is going to be the rest of your points. It's very imperative that you get your dexterity up because it's going to boost both your weapons. You get 5% crit chance. You get 5% thrust damage, which is both your weapons. You get 10% reduced cost on stamina, which is a very, very important one. And then you get, at 200, you get extra backstab and headshot damage, which is going to be good for your bow and your spear. Now, after you get 200, it is up to you. I might go more con myself, just to be more tanky. But you could dump all of it into dex if you want to. You could even dump some into strength, just a little bit, maybe to get to 50 for your spear, because your secondary spear attribute is strength. But again, guys, 50 con, and then I would go the rest of them dexterity, at least until you're a higher level and decide what you want to do. So it's pretty simple. The attributes aren't that detailed. I mean, attributes are pretty simple when you know what you want to do. So we're going to move on. We're going to get into our skills, which is probably the most important part for me. We will start with the bow. Now, I do not have my bow all the way upgraded, as you can see. I am level 12, which isn't that big of a deal. It's still a pretty good high level to know exactly what I want to do with the build. So here's what I'm going to suggest. Number one is the 3 skills I have are my favorite to use, but you can change something if you don't like it. So what I'm going to start with are the skills, and then we'll do the passives afterwards, so it makes more sense. So here we're going to start with evade shot. Evade shot is a very, very good skill. You leap back 5 meters, you shoot an arrow, and it deals 125% weapon damage. Not only is it going to give you a distance, it's going to do damage on top of it. Also, when you upgrade it, evasive knockback, it also causes the enemy to be knocked back by 2 meters. So this goes along with the leap backwards. So you jump back 5 meters, you knock them back 2 meters, you get 7 meters of space if you hit. The second upgrade is go the distance. You get 5% or 5 seconds of 15% haste, which is movement speed. So not only do you knock people back, you do 125% weapon damage, but you also get movement speed. I feel like this is a must-have for bow, especially if you want to play that skirmisher, light armor type of build. It is very good. So we'll move on to the next skill. Another skill that I think is non-negotiable, in my opinion, is Poison Shot. I think this is the best bow ability in the game. It is a very, very powerful damage over time. It ticks every second. It's really good. But let's say it shoots a poison arrow that hits or lands and creates a cloud of poison that's 3 meters wide that lasts for 6 seconds. Anyone entering the cloud are poisoned, dealing 10% weapon damage for 20 seconds. Guys, this is a really, really long duration. 20 seconds is a crazy long time. 10% dot is still very powerful, and then also when you upgrade it, it gets even better. Poison shot now deals 12% instead of 10%, so it does even more damage. And then on the second upgrade is if you directly hit a target with the poison shot, it deals 200% more damage. So it is very good to, like, I'll show you, it's very good to just shoot the ground. If the tree is your target, you shoot the ground under it, it's kind of a guaranteed hit. But if you're a good aim and you want to risk it, or someone that's standing still, hit them directly and you're going to do a crap ton more damage. It's very, very good. I think this skill is a must-have. I can't play bow without this skill on. It makes you so much harder to deal with because people are worried about their health. So these 2 skills I believe are non-negotiable. I think you have to have them. That's my opinion on the subject. Let's move on to the other tree. So here we have penetrating shot. Now, this is a possible change. So penetrating shot is a very good skill because not only does it hit super hard by doing 150% weapon damage, but also it passes through targets and continues for 100 meters. So this skill can hit a limited amount of enemies, essentially. So if it passes through one enemy, it keeps going. It won't be used that often. I mean, maybe in a war, it might also be used in PvE, but it isn't super important in PvP in terms of passing through enemies and hitting them, but it does do a lot of damage, and it is easy to hit because of how hard the arrow shoots. So if you hit that tree over there, look how hard, bang, it gets to the target so fast that it is hard to dodge. That's why I'm using it. And also on top of that, I mean, the upgrades are pretty good. Blood-soaked arrow gives you extra damage after each enemy. And then the second upgrade does 20% damage to enemies that are 20 meters away, which is very good. So it's doing 170% weapon damage to those that are far away. It's a very good skill. I mean, that's what I'm using for now. Another option you could use is rapid shot. So if you want to take off penetrating shot, you could use rapid. You're going to fire 3 consecutive arrows. The first 2 are dealing 100% each, and then the last shot deals 125% total. So you are doing a total of 325% weapon damage if you land all of them, but it is not often you will. It's pretty tough, especially if they're wearing light armor. But I will say this skill does hit very hard, but it is a slow skill, and that's kind of why I haven't been using it. It takes forever. It's a long animation, so people that are melee and they have a gap closer, such as Great Axe or anyone that has a lot of speed, they might catch up to you while you're using this. That's why I kind of like penetrating shot better. But it is up to you. I will say whatever you feel is more comfortable based on your content. But nonetheless, I'm using penetrating shot. That's what I suggest. So in terms of passives, we are at level 12 right now. So we have 11 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So what you need is 10 in a category and then 1 extra to get the ultimate. So what I'm going to suggest, I'm going to tell you right now, I think concussion is the better ultimate, but I think we're going to use knee shot as our ultimate because knee shot, although it doesn't help your damage out a ton, it's really, really powerful. It gives you just a lot of CC and crowd control. So if you're hitting someone in the legs, which is really applies to any of your skills, you hit them in the leg, which is more often than a headshot, you are going to slow them. So it is going to be good. So in terms of passives, I'll tell you what I have on. So basically what I'm going to be doing here is we have 11 points total, so we will get, 9 more? So what I'm going to suggest is getting evasive tactics. Number 1, you get 20% damage for after roll dodging. This is insanely good because you're always going to be roll dodging. We're in light armor, so pretty much you're getting a 20% damage bonus at all times. Crazy, crazy good passive there. And then next we're going to be using dodge and weave. So after you dodge, you get a 10% haste for 2 seconds. This also has no cooldown, so it is another skill that is very powerful for bow. It gives you a lot of movement and a lot of mobility, so but make sure you use that. And then here is another one that you must have, in my opinion. Debuffs and damage over times last 20% longer, so that is going to apply to your poison shot. That is also going to apply to your slow. That is also going to apply to your knockback. Like, it is really good. It's going to buff pretty much everything you do on this build, so it's going to help out a ton. And then next, you're going to want Mark. You're going to deal 10% more damage to people with a debuff on them. That's pretty much going to be all the time, considering that if you slow them, it's going to count. If you hit them with poison shot for 20 seconds, it's going to count. Even more than that, it's going to last for like 25 seconds. So you're going to get 10% damage pretty much all the time, which is really, really good. But after that, I would say you get Archer's Speed. That's what I'm planning on getting. So not only do you get the 10% for roll dodging, but you also get 10% for switching to your bow. So if you're using the light armor dodge, you can switch to your bow, and right here you'll get the 10% for switching, and then you're also going to get the 10% for roll dodging. So you're going to get 20% movement speed pretty much whenever you want. You're going to be really tough to catch up to, and you have evade shot that gives you another 15%. So all these stack together to give you a crap ton of movement speed. You're going to get 35% movement speed from these 3 abilities themselves. So I think that's really good. But after that, I probably wouldn't use anything else in this tree. Maybe catch me if you can, but it's not great. It's okay, but if you're outnumbered, you might want to use it a little bit, but 3 meters isn't a great radius, so I would suggest probably not getting it and passing. So, again, you're going to want this ultimate, you're going to want Archer Speed. That's the skirmisher tree. So the passives in the hunter tree. Number 1, you're going to want aim true. Heavy attacks arrows fly faster and they deal 30% more damage. 30% damage, I mean, you can't pass that up. It's really, really important. It's a very, very good ability. You're going to want this 100%. And then next, you're going to want to upgrade penetrating shot all the way, of course. Next, you're going to want finishing shot. Target below 50% health, you deal 20% more damage. So the most important thing in PvP for New World is finishing people off when they're lower health. This is right here is going to help you a ton with that. Not only is it going to buff your direct damage, but it's also going to buff your poison shot. So this is going to make your build a lot more tough to deal with when they're lower health. Next, I would suggest using arrow range, increase arrow distance before start of gravity. So when you use a heavy attack with a bow, stuff starts to fall the farther you shoot. This is going to double that range, so you don't have to dealing with wind or gravity, so to say. You know what I mean? So just make sure you do that. And then next, I would use bullseye. Bow shots, crit chance is increased by 10%. This is very good. Crit chance is important. Crit damage is important. It's very, very good. I would use this 100%. And then after that, I don't really know. After that, it's totally up to you. Everything is okay. It's not really great, but if you have any leftover points, I would throw it into whatever you feel is necessary. But I chose the ones that I would get. Again, on the hunter tree, I'm going to 100% get aim true. I'm 100% getting finishing shot. I'm 100% getting arrow range. And lastly, I am 100% getting bullseye. After that, guys, feel free to do whatever you feel is necessary. And then on the skirmisher tree, again, just to recap what I'm doing, evasive tactics, 100%. Definitely get dodge and weave. Definitely get battle precision. And definitely get archer speed. And definitely get knee shot. So that's the skills for bow. Let's move on to spear. I apologize for taking forever, but it is what it is. So, my spear is not upgraded all the way, so do not come at me for not having everything I want. Javelin is not where it needs to be yet, but I feel like I have what's necessary to make this build very powerful for now. So we'll start with the zoner tree because it's not upgraded yet. So we're going to start with Javelin. Javelin is a very, very good skill. It does a lot of damage. It has a lot. It seems like it crits a ton. Really nice because the deadly reach is number 1, so it's going to help you a ton. But anyways, what you're going to want to do for Javelin is upgrade this all the way. Okay, it's that simple. You want this all the way upgraded. So we're gonna get what, 19 points. So I'm gonna tell you right now exactly what I'm gonna do to get this build maxed out. So we're gonna start with the zoner tree. So Javelin is 1 point. You're gonna want to upgrade Forceful Impact. That's 2 points. Deadly Reach is 3 points. You're going to want Merciless Strength. That's 4 points. You're going to want Refreshing Precision. That's 5. Deadly Distance. That's 6. Invigorating Crits, 7. Strong Condition, 8. And then we're going to move to the other tree. That is what we're going to do for this tree. Let's move on. So here we have Skewer. It rushes forward. You deal a lot of damage, 125% weapon damage. It applies a 10% weapon damage bleed for 10 seconds. You're going to want to upgrade this all the way right away. Because you're going to get 20% against full health enemies, very powerful. You're going to want to get Empower on critical hits, which is going to help you out a ton. You're going to get 20% damage for 10 seconds, guys. That is why we're using this skill. When you get a crit with this, you get 20% damage for 10 seconds. That is such a long time. And then lastly, you're going to get a 15 second duration on your bleed. Guys, this stacks with the poison shot to make a deadly, deadly combo. So make sure you use that. And then lastly, we're using Vault Kick. Now, Vault Kick is extremely good. It applies a stun, it does 75% weapon damage, and it covers a ton of distance. Look how much distance this skill covers. So much distance. It's going to do a lot for you. I will show you the combo in just 1 sec. But you gain Empower after successful hits on targets below 50% health. So you get 20% Empower for this, and then if you do this one, if you get a crit, and then you get a 50% health, you're going to get 40% damage. So it's going to stack and be so good if you get both of them to line up. And then lastly, cooldowns for all spear abilities are reduced by 30% on successful hit. 30% cooldown reduction. You're going to be able to use Javelin so often. And then lastly, we are using Exploited Weakness, 10% damage per debuff on target. 30% max. This does count for Poison Shot. I just want you to know that. So Poison Shot is going to be 1 debuff. Your Skewer is going to be 2 debuffs. and a stun is going to count as a third debuff, or a knockdown is going to count as a third debuff. Whatever debuff you have on them at the time, you're going to get that 30% damage pretty much always. It's really, really powerful. So for passives on this side, we're going to want Exposed Wounds, 15% crit chance against targets with bleed. That's essentially all the time. You're going to get the successful hit after dodging is going to reduce your cooldowns by 20%. That's really, really good because you are going to do a lot of dodging into abilities, so it is really nice. And then you're going to want this here, 15% damage against enemies with 30% health or less. This is going to stack well with your, it's going to go in conjunction with your bow ability that gives extra damage under 50% health. So this again will help you finish people off because that is the hardest thing to do in this game. So in terms of passives, I would get exacerbating crits. I think that's how you say it. Sorry. You might want to get that, you might not. It's totally up to you. But again, that is what I would get in this tree for the most part. On the zoner tree, in terms of passive, definitely Deadly Reach, extra crit chance for further away targets. You're going to want 25% damage against knockdown targets because that's what your Javelin does. So if you hit knock them down and you roll at them and do damage, you're going to do 25% more. And then you're going to want extra headshots, reduce cooldowns by 50%. It's actually easier to land a headshot than you may think, so don't worry about it. You will land headshots and get that cooldown. And then lastly, you're doing extra damage per meter traveled, so if someone's running away and you throw it at them like that, you're going to do a bunch of damage because they're going to be running and they're going to be further. So again, for passives on this side, you're going to want Merciless Strength, very good. And then you're probably definitely going to want Strong Condition, and you're probably going to want Invigorating crits. The reason I say Strong Condition is because rolling in light armor is super, super important. So if you're rolling and you get that extra stamina regen, I don't have it yet, but I'm saying when you're under 50%, it will give you a lot of regen. And then here, you're going to be critting a lot. So 20% stamina on crits is just going to boost your stamina ability by a ton. So that's what I would do in terms of that. I might get Refreshing Reach. I'm thinking about it. Successful heavy attacks reduce all spear cooldowns, but I would definitely get the two stamina ones, the knockdown passive, and then Deadly Reach. So that's pretty much the abilities. If you have questions, let me know, but I can show you a combo really quick. So let's say you get in a fight with someone, you're going to want a heavy attack, you're going to want to go right into evade. If they're running at you, you can hit them with a javelin, and then you can switch to a penetrating shot. And then lastly, you're going to want to get the poison shot on them. And then you're just going to kind of hang out here, right? And then if they come at you, you hit them with that, and then you're going to want to skewer. And then you can drop back, throw your javelin again, rinse and repeat. It's really not that hard to do, guys. Just it's simple. Keep them away from you. It's a very good build for that. You have a ton of CC, you have a ton of movement, so you'll be able to do that. So lastly, we are going to do the gear. Let's get into that really quick. So we are running light armor. If you need a guide as to how to stay in light armor, well, I'll give you a quick rundown. It's pretty simple. So light armor, you're going to get the 12.7 weight, but what you want to do is you're going to light helmet, you're going to want a medium chest, and then you're going to want to light everything else. It's really that simple. So light helmet, medium chest, and everything else is light as well. So it's pretty simple to stay in light. That's the gist. But I'll tell you what you're going to want. So basically, guys, you're just going to want dex, a mixture of dexterity, strength, and constitution. Primarily, dexterity and constitution. If you have some strength mixed in there, it's not too bad. For gems, I would go slash ward. It is going to give you reduced damage taken to things such as Great Axe and Hatchet. So the two things that really destroy me are those two weapons. So it is nice to be able to combat that with this. So it's that simple. One thing I would suggest trying to get on your gear right here is Enfeebling Poison Shot. It is a perk that you can get on your gear. It is going to buff your Poison Shot. Poison Shot's arrow also applies weaken, reducing their damage done by 10% for 4 seconds. That's very, very good. I would put that on your gear if you can. Another one I would try to get is a Penetrating Shot buff. Penetrating Shot is essentially just going to reduce your cooldowns when you hit them with Penetrating Shot. So it is another one to get. It's very good as well, just so you know. But again, you're just going to want dexterity and con. Anything you get, preferably the faction gear, because the faction gear is very, very powerful when you level up to 40-ish. I'm not 60, obviously, but it is good. And then amulet-wise, we are using, when you're hit below 50%, gain 10% fortified. That is a very good one in my opinion. And then we have a ring. It's luck. It's not ideal, but we will change it out when we get something better. And then here we have reduce active cooldowns after being hit 5 times. So that is what we're using in terms of gear. Gears can be very different in every server world, so that's why I'm not too specific about it. I'm just telling you general overview. So here we are using a spear called Last Light. It gives 18 dexterity. So it does have a perk on it, sweep to coup, or sweep coup de grace. Now it does bleed. I'm not using sweep right now. I was using sweep. So if you do use sweep, you could use this, but I don't prefer sweep. I prefer vault kick over sweep. So that is why I'm using this. I'm still using this because it is a good spear. It gives extra light and heavy attack damage, which is solid. I would suggest getting crit damage, crit chance, light attack damage, something along those lines, because it is going to help you out a ton on crit gain and power, anything like that, because you will be doing a lot of crits and have a lot of crit chance. So this is going to be a very good buff for you. And then on the bow here, we have the same thing. We have light and heavy attack damage as extra damage. You will do a decent amount of heavy attacks with bow because you have range, so there's no reason to sit back and not do it. The gem I chose is Exhilarate. The reason being is because when people are low, they're going to run away. So being able to have 12% extra damage to low health enemies is going to be able to make you finish them off better. So I figured having a gem that's going to be able to poke people from afar and do extra damage while doing it, it's going to help you out. So that was my logic when thinking about that. So yeah, that's pretty much what I did here for the build, guys. I mean, let me know if you have any questions. Again, I'm always down to answer questions in the comments. I apologize if I rambled or said too much, but again, guys, I am really appreciative of the support you guys give me. I hope you enjoy this video. I really do. And make sure you like it and leave a comment if you enjoy. And if you are not a subscriber, please, please, please subscribe if you like it, because we need a better percentage of our viewers being subscribers. And also, again, I'm offering channel memberships for anyone that wants to be a part of the Discord, wants extra emojis, wants extra icons next to their name, and wants a loyalty badge. I'm also going to be releasing videos specifically for members and early for members, so if you want early access to my content, let me know. Thank you, guys. I love you all. Have a good one.